ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। तो आप सभी का स्वागत है आज के
We welcome all of you to this session of Śrīmad-Bhāgavad Gita.
दूसरे अध्याय का 36वां श्लोक।
We are studying 36th verse of the second chapter.
31वें श्लोक से लेकर और यहाँ
Here,
37 तक
from the 31st verse till 37, Bhagavan has been inspiring Arjun to fight in the war, and he told both the benefits and the disadvantages, benefit of fighting and disadvantage of not fighting.
तो यहाँ पर फिर वो बोल रहे हैं इसी को, क्योंकि अर्जुन का ये विचार था कि अगर मैं युद्ध करता हूँ तो गुरुजनों के साथ युद्ध करने का,
Because Arjun was thinking that if I fight with my Gurujanas, my superiors, I will incur sin, and the person who maintained me, who gave me knowledge,
उनको मारने के लिए तैयार हूँ।
and I am engaging to kill them only.
अगर मैंने उनका मार दिया तो फिर गुरुवध का भी पाप लगेगा।
And if I kill them, I will incur the sin of killing Guru.
तो बहुत कष्ट होगा और फिर भी लोग निंदा करेंगे कितना बहुत बड़ा वीर बनता था अपने आप को।
people will criticize me.
और अगर युद्ध नहीं करता हूँ
If I do not fight in the war, then also there will be criticism. So Arjun is in the dilemma.
तो भी निंदा ना करूँ तो भी निंदा
He is in this dilemma whether I should fight or not fight. In both cases, I will incur criticism.
हमारे जीवन में इस प्रकार की स्थिति आ जाती है
Because sometimes we face such situations in life that
दुविधा में पड़ जाता है कि इस काम को करें
mind is in duality. It is not able to take decision whether I should do this or not do this, because we see problems in both the cases. So Arjun is in this type of mental situation where he is not able to decide whether he should fight or not fight.
यही कहा था ना
Earlier also, he told this only.
यदि वह जये मैं यदि वह न जये कौन सा ठीक है युद्ध करना ना करना हम जीते या वो जीते हैं निश्चय नहीं कर पा रहा था तो उसी के लिए भगवान यहाँ पर फिर बोल रहे हैं
So now Bhagavan is speaking.
वाच्यवादांश्च बहुन वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् और तुम्हारे
Translation: and your enemies, disparaging your prowess, will speak many abusive words. Indeed, what could be more painful than this?
तो भगवान कहते हैं कि आप
So Bhagavan is telling that you are thinking that if you fight in the war, you will be criticized.
उसमें तो युद्ध में आप मर भी सकते हो उसके बाद में निंदा होगी तो उसको कौन सुनता है
If you die fighting, how will you hear your criticism? And if you win in the war, the people who are who can potentially criticize you, then they will anyway die. And even if somebody survives, then you can anyway subdue that person. But if you do not fight and you run away, then people will speak all kinds of words for you. They will speak abusive words for you, and they will speak many abusive words for you.
तो ये पक्का है इसमें ये नहीं है कि
So that is guaranteed. There is no doubt whether they will do it or not. They will definitely speak. Will definitely speak many abusive words to you.
जब तू अपनी निंदा सुनेगा तब क्या
And when you will hear this criticism, then what will you do? Then your blood will start boiling and you will again come back to fight, because you are a Kshatriya, you are not a Vaishya or a Brahmana.
सहन नहीं कर सकता
Being a Kshatriya, you will not be able to tolerate criticism. If Kshatriya can tolerate criticism, then what kind of Kshatriya is he?
कि तू फिर युद्ध के
That's why Bhagavan is telling that you will definitely re-engage in the war because of not being able to tolerate criticism. It is not in your nature. When a person acts against Swabhava, he can do it for some time, but after that, he starts facing trouble.
बचपन से इतनी प्रशंसा सुनी है उसने
So from childhood, you have heard so much praise of yours.
उत्तम शिष्य रहा है
You were the best disciple of your guru.
द्रोणाचार्य ने कितना इनको प्रशंसा किया था कि आप जैसा वीर दुनिया में कोई नहीं होगा
Dronacharya himself had praised so much that there is no greater warrior than you. Among all my disciples, you are the best.
तो उनके गुरुजी ने भी इनकी प्रशंसा की उनको
So your guru had also praised you so much. He had given you your blessings.
उन्होंने अध्ययन किया था
So now the people with whom you had studied together,
द्रोणाचार्य के साथ और अब वही निंदा करेंगे
now they only will criticize you. These people who had heard so much of your praise, they were always ready to seek the opportunity to criticize you. Then it will become very difficult for you to tolerate this criticism.
झूठी निंदा
And criticism is also of two types. One is false and one is
तो ये है कि
true.
किसी आदमी में कोई दोष नहीं है और फिर भी लोग उसकी निंदा
One is that the person doesn't have any fault,
तो कम से कम उसको
still is being
पता है कि मेरा मैं
criticized.
नहीं हूँ
So at least that person knows that I am not a
वो झूठी
thief
निंदा है
and I am falsely being criticized.
और अगर कोई चोर है उसको कोई चोर कहता है तो उसको अपने आप को पता ही है ना कि मैं चोर हूँ.
But if somebody is actually a thief and he is being criticized, he knows it. So he may just externally try to defend himself, but internally he knows that I am actually a thief. If a person has lied and he knows that he has lied, and he is being criticized that you are a liar, and on the other side, there is a person who is truthful, but he is being falsely criticized as being a liar, so his anger will be more. So, when you will be criticized that you ran away from the battlefield out of fear, which is not actually the case, so then there will be lot of criticism for you. That's why Bahun word is used here.
और उसका मुख्य कारण यही है कि इन लोगों
And
के
its
मन में
main
तुम्हारे प्रति बहुत ईर्ष्या
reason is that
इसलिए
these
अहंकार
people are highly envious of you.
और जब ये बड़े बड़े लोग बोलेंगे
And when these great people will tell,
दुर्योधन राजा है
definitely the ordinary people will also join in that criticism.
और फिर भीष्म
Because
द्रोणाचार्य
Duryodhan is like a king,
क्या है
then Bhishma, Dronacharya, they all will join in that. They will also start criticizing that we were considering Arjun to be a great warrior,
आदर करके जा रहा है
because they will also not think that Arjun ran away
तो सभी
out
लोग
of respect for us.
उनके
So
विरुद्ध
that
के लोग
means
भी बोलेंगे
everyone
क्या
will
भीम नहीं
criticize.
सोचेगा कि क्या हो गया इसका
Even your brothers will think like this. Will Bhim not think like this? Do you think Bhim will congratulate you when you will run away from the battlefield?
तवाहिता आपके शत्रु करेंगे लेकिन शत्रु के
So, although Bhagavan said
उनके
Tavahita that only your enemies will criticize, but not only that,
के लोग
actually people on your side they will also criticize you.
जो उनके
All
विजय
those who have been praising you, who are your fans, now your fan following will decline. That what happened to Arjun suddenly.
सलाह देते हैं
That's why Bhagavan is advising him
ऐसे काम मत नहीं
that
कीजिए क्योंकि उससे
do
बड़ा
not act like
कोई हो
this,
नहीं सकता
because there is no greater
आप
suffering
सहमत है कि
than
निंदा
this.
करेंगे
Nothing is more painful than
और
this.
आप में फिर ये
They will
सामर्थ्य नहीं होगी कि आप उनकी
criticize
निंदा
your
करें
prowess, and
तो
you
इसलिए
will not be able
कीजिए
to tolerate that criticism. That's why please fight.
तो उसके बाद में फिर वो अगला इस कड़ी का जो अंतिम श्लोक है वो बोलते हैं
Then Bhagavan speaks the last verse in this chain of thought.
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्थिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः यदि तुम युद्ध करते हुए मारे गए तो
If
तुम्हें
you are killed while fighting, you will attain heaven. Or if you are victorious, you will enjoy dominion over the earth. Therefore, stand up, O son of Kunti, having firmly resolved to fight.
तो भगवान कहते हैं कि आपको ये शंका नहीं होनी चाहिए कि मेरे को
So Bhagavan is telling you should not have any doubt regarding what you should do and
सुना
what you should not do.
कतरन्नो करिए ने कहा था कौन सा ठीक है मैं निश्चय से आपको बता
So
रहा हूँ
Arjun,
कि
now Bhagavan is telling that I am telling you
युद्ध का निश्चय कीजिए
definitely that you should fight. You should be determined to fight. Because until and unless you have the determination, how will you fight properly? When a person has doubt, then the person is unable to act
तो
with
निश्चय
firm
होना
resolve.
जरूरी है
So that's why firm determination is very important. Otherwise, when we are doubtful, then a doubtful person is destroyed.
इसलिए उसको संशय बोलते
One
हैं
cannot act with doubts.
बुद्धि इसमें इसमें बुद्धि निर्णय नहीं कर पाती है
When a person has doubt, his intelligence is unable to decide properly.
से नहीं होता तो फिर आदमी अपनी
So when there is no proper decision, then the person cannot act with full energy, with full vigor. So Bhagavan is telling,
हाथ में
don't
लड्डू है
don't keep any doubt.
लड़ोगे तो भी लड्डू खाओगे
In both cases,
तो भी खाओगे
you will be
हारोगे
you will be benefiting, whether you win or lose.
तो स्वर्ग जाओगे
If you die, then you will achieve Swarga, heaven,
धर्म युद्ध में मरते हुए कोई वीर गति को प्राप्त
because there is rule in the Dharma Shastra that if somebody dies while fighting, it is called Veeragati. That means it was a brave, victorious death.
तो पृथ्वी का राज्य भोगोगे
And if you continue living,
इसलिए
which means you won in the war, then you will
कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है
enjoy the kingdom. So
युद्ध कीजिए
that is why you should not have any doubt
भगवान
and you should fight.
कहते हैं कौन्तेय
That's why Bhagavan is telling him Kaunteya. He is addressing Arjun as
कौंतेय का
Kaunteya.
मतलब आप कुंती के पुत्र हैं।
Kaunteya means you are
कुंती
the
ने
son
आपको
of
यही
Kunti,
संदेश दिया था
and Kunti had
कि
delivered this
मेरे
message to
पुत्रों से
me
जाके बोलना
that when you meet my sons, please tell them
एक
that
क्षत्राणी
the
वीर पुत्र
purpose
को
for
पैदा करती
which
है वो
a
समय बहुत
brave
जल्दी आ गया है। यदर्थम
a brave
सुते
Kshatriya
क्षत्रिय
queen gives birth to Kshatriya
भागवते
sons,
तदागता।
that
तो
time has
वही
now
संदेश
arrived.
देना
Now it
इसलिए
is the time to fulfill that
याद दिलाने
purpose.
के लिए अर्जुन को यहाँ पर
So Bhagavan is reminding Arjun of that, and that
कौंतेय
is why
शब्द
he is addressing Arjun as
से संबोधित
Kaunteya.
करते हैं। और कहने का मतलब है कि
The point is that
आदमी अगर अपना कर्तव्य कर्म करता
if
है
a person performs his duty,
तो उसमें
his
लाभ
karma,
ही है।
then it is
जो
of
जिसका
benefit
कर्तव्य
to
कर्म
him.
है उसका
Whatever
फल
is
वही
one's
मिलता है।
prescribed duty, if the
उसका
person
फल
does not
तथास्थायी है
does not perform that, then there is
और
no
हमें
benefit
भी
in that. The
यही
person
करना
will
चाहिए।
end up
यही अगले
losing.
श्लोक में भगवान
And every
उसको
person
बताएंगे।
should perform his duty,
तो
his karma.
अर्जुन का
Bhagavan
कर्तव्य
will tell that
है
in the next
महान युद्ध
verse.
करना, इसलिए कहते हैं कि
And
आप
it is Arjun's
खड़े होकर
duty
युद्ध कीजिए।
to fight in the war, as he is a Kshatriya. So he should
वो
stand up
बैठ गया था।
and be ready, because Arjun had sat down.
अध्याय का जो अंतिम श्लोक था
The last verse of the previous chapter
रथोपस्थ
mentioned that
विसृज्य सस्रम चापम रथोपस्थ विपाशत। वो अपना धनुष बाण छोड़कर
Arjun gave up his bow and arrows, and
उसका मन
he
जो है वो शोक में
sat
डूब गया
in
था।
a mood of desperation,
तो
in a mood of
इसी
despair.
के लिए कहते हैं कि
He was
खड़े हो,
lamenting.
क्योंकि वो
So that's why Bhagavan is telling him, please get up,
इसी प्रकार ये
because
जो
Arjun
मनुष्य
was
जीवन है
seated
इसमें
in
भी
the chariot.
उत्तिष्ठ
So in our human form of life,
प्राप्य
we
वचनम
should.
निबोधते। तो वेद का ये उद्घोष है कि आप
This
उठिए,
is the Vedic
आलस्य
declaration,
में मत रहिए
Veda's orders
और
to human
आपको जो
beings,
वर
that
प्राप्त
wake
होना
up,
चाहिए
stand up,
मनुष्य जीवन,
do not
उसका
be
लाभ लीजिए।
lazy, and take complete
केवल
benefit
इसी
of this
गुरुकृपा
human
ही अनमोल है
human life. So
कि
this human
इसमें
form is
अपने
extremely
सभी समस्याओं
important,
का, सभी
because
कष्टों का
in this
समाधान
life we can
कर सकते हैं।
solve all our
ये
problems.
भी उसका एक भाव निकलता है उत्तिष्ठ का।
So
उत्तिष्ठ
this is another purport behind
जैसे
Bhagavan's
आजकल मोटिवेशनल
word
स्पीकर बोलते हैं
Uttishtha.
कि भगवान
Like nowadays
हंसते हैं,
motivational
तो
speakers
कहते हैं
speak.
कि खड़े हो
Similarly,
जाओ।
Bhagavan is telling Arjun, he is motivating Arjun to
तो
stand up, get ready to fight.
हमको अपने जीवन में हमेशा कर्तव्य परायण रहना चाहिए,
So we
आलस्य
should
नहीं करना
always be
चाहिए।
dutiful in our life. We should never be lazy.
उपायति लक्ष्मी। तो दैवेन देयाति का पुरुषा वदन्ति दैवम निहत्य कुरु पौरुषम आत्मशक्त्या यत्ने कृते यदि न सध्यति। तो मनुष्य को जो है पुरुष करना चाहिए, पुरुषार्थ करना चाहिए।
So a human being should do his purushartha, should perform his duty.
योगी
Success,
जो उद्योग करता है, जो
Lakshmi
प्रयत्न करता है, उसी के पास जाती है। और जो
comes
जिनके
to
सहारे
only
चलता
that
रहता है
person who does
उसको
his
भाग्यशाली
endeavor.
बोलते हैं।
One who simply remains
तो
seated, depending
भाग्य
on
शास्त्र में
bhagya, on the fortune,
नपुंसक
that person is
दैवेन देयमिति का
is
पुरुषा
a
वदन्ति दैवम निहत्य
napumsaka,
कुरु पौरुषम
eunuch.
आत्मशक्त्या। तो अपनी शक्ति के अनुसार पुरुषार्थ व्यक्ति को करना
So one
चाहिए।
should perform his
जैसे
duty
याज्ञनिक
according to his capacity.
ऐसे पुत्र को कोई स्त्री जन्म ना दे जो हरिनंदन
So
निरुत्साही
a woman should not give birth to a son
है, निर्वीर्य है,
who is
हरिनंदन
lazy, who does
हरिनंदन
not have any
शत्रु को
enthusiasm,
प्रसन्नता देता है। तो ऐसा
one who gives
पुत्र कोई
pleasure
ना
to
दे।
his enemies. Better not
तो इसलिए
to
उनको
give
है
birth to such a
कौन्तेय
son.
आप
That's
इसको
why Arjun is being addressed as Kaunteya, because
यहाँ
you,
तक
Bhagavan is
अर्जुन
telling
को
you are
पहले
not
पोषण
the
किया
son of such a woman.
पिछले अध्याय के अलग अलग श्लोकों में जो उन्होंने
You are the
दिया
son of Kunti. So now
पहले अध्याय
whatever Bhagavan had told earlier,
जो
whatever Arjun had
राधा
told
के
in
युद्ध
the
करने
first
में कोई
chapter,
कल्याण नहीं होगा,
that there is no
ऐसा
benefit in fighting in the
बोला
war,
था
Arjun had told
कि
all this to
यत्र
Bhagavan.
श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम आहवे कि मैं इस युद्ध में अपने स्वजन को मारकर कोई श्रेय नहीं सोचता हूँ।
So Bhagavan had told that I do not see any benefit by killing my superiors, my Gurujanas. How can we be happy by killing them, by fighting in the
इससे
war?
हमको क्या सुख प्राप्त होगा?
What benefit shall we derive
सत्य
in
धार्म
this?
राष्ट्रान का प्रीति साथ जनार्दन। और युद्ध से हमको नरक मिलेगा।
We
अलग अलग
will
उन्होंने जो तर्क दिए
rather go to hell
44वें श्लोक
by
में,
fighting in this war.
नरके नियतम वासो भवति इति अनुशास्त्रों में। और युद्ध करने से पाप लगेगा।
If we fight in this war, we will incur sin.
तम दोषम मित्र दोहि च पातकम पापम पापम एव आश्रय दस्मान, हमको पाप ही प्राप्त होगा।
We will
और युद्ध
only
करने
incur
से धर्म
sin.
का नाश हो जाएगा।
If we fight in this war, then dharma will be destroyed.
नष्टे कुलम कृष्णम धर्मो विभवत्युत। तो ये अनेक प्रकार के जितने भी अर्जुन ने तर्क
So all these different types of logic that Arjun had given, Bhagavan in 8 verses has answered, has clarified those doubts of Arjun, because Arjun had also given logic that we have heard like this in parampara. So Bhagavan is telling, no, it's not like that. What you are thinking is wrong. That is not the truth.
और इसमें जो मूल तर्क उन्होंने दिया है,
And the primary logic that Bhagavan gave, and later also this logic will continue, and it's a very important topic in Gita, and that is to perform work according to our swabhava, our nature. When any person works against his nature, against his swabhava, then from that he only becomes frustrated. He cannot remain peaceful. Like what people say nowadays, job dissatisfaction. It's a very big problem in today's society that people are not satisfied with their work. When a person is dissatisfied in his work, then he does not work properly. And one of the fundamental reasons of corruption in society is that people are not working according to their nature. They are doing something that goes against their nature. So this is hellish life, working against nature and remaining frustrated. That is naraka, that is hellish life. Because hell actually means suffering and swarga actually means happiness. So working according to swabhava is heaven, because after death who will go where, we do not know that. But here we can feel happiness only when we work according to our swabhava. It is a type of music. When there is harmony between our inner world and the outer world, then it is like singing a song which is perfectly orchestrated. So we have our body and the mind. So if we study our body, if we analyze it, then we will see body automatically keeps uh, harmonizing itself according to the climatic conditions. Because during the summer season, body automatically releases sweat to balance the temperature. And when body needs energy, then body gives the sensation of hunger. When we are feel very cold, then body starts shivering to generate more heat. So our body is made in such a way that it naturally tries to harmonize itself according to what goes inside the body and what is the outer condition, the climatic condition. So body always tries to balance itself. But for mind, there is no such system that mind will automatically balance itself. And this is the yoga in Gita, whether Bhagavan calls it as Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. It is primarily about bringing balance, bringing equanimity of the mind. Because until and unless we are balanced, we are not in a state of equilibrium, there will be no happiness in life. So earlier I had told about flow by an author. who says that flow means there is a balance, equanimity in life. So if you analyze the lives of all the great successful people in any field, whether it is about music or any arts or
क्राफ्ट्स का क्षेत्र है
any sort of
या कोई
craft
वैज्ञानिक है,
or
तो सब
science,
लोगों के जीवन में देखोगे
so
तो
if you
वो
see
उसमें
in all of their
लगे रहते हैं,
lives,
बड़ा मनोयोग से काम करते हैं, क्योंकि
they
उनका स्वभाव
work
ऐसा है।
with lot of focus, concentration,
और इसलिए
because that
उनको ये
work
सफलता प्राप्त है।
matches with their swabhava, with their
तो
nature.
यही
That's
शिक्षा
why
भगवान
they
हमको
have
यहाँ पर
been
दे
so
रहे हैं कि
successful.
अर्जुन आप क्षत्रिय
This
हैं,
is what Bhagavan is teaching to
और
Arjun,
ये
that
वास्तव में
you are a
आपको
Kshatriya
मौका मिला है
and
अपने
you have actually got this
स्वभाव के
opportunity
अनुसार
to
अपनी
work
कला कौशल
according
को
to
दिखाने के लिए।
Swabhava,
यदृच्छा
to display
जो
your
कहा था
skill.
चौपन्नम स्वर्ग द्वारम पावितम, इसका ये भी मतलब है कि ये तो अपने आप
Bhagavan
को
had
युद्ध में
told earlier
स्वर्ग
also
का द्वार
that you have
स्वर्ग के
you
द्वार
have
जब आप अपनी
received
कलाओं के
this
अनुसार
opportunity
अपनी कला कौशल
by
दिखाने
which
के लिए
the gates
प्रारंभ
to
है,
heaven have opened,
तो
because
स्वभाव
now
को उसी में
you can
ढाल लेता
display
है
your skill
और
of
अपना कला
warfare
प्रदर्शन करके उसको
on this
जय दिलाता है।
battlefield. Because for a
जब भी
kshatriya
कहीं
it's a
जाने का
great
मौका
pleasure.
मिल जाए
Be
अपनी
like
कला
if there
दिखाने
is
का,
a musician
और
and he gets
दूसरे
an
लोग भी
opportunity
उसकी
to
कला को
display his
समझते हैं तो उसका
skill of
आनंद आता है
music,
उसमें।
and he has an audience in front of
कभी
him
उसका
who
अभ्यास
appreciate good music,
उसके
then the musician will be
प्रदर्शन
very
के द्वारा हम
happy.
समझते हैं तो
Like if
उसको
there is
उसमें
a
आनंद
poet
आता है,
and who
इसलिए
recites good poetry,
इसलिए भी
and
कहते
there
हैं
are people
स्वर्ग
who
द्वारम
understand what is
पावकम,
good
एक
poetry,
प्रभात
then he'll be very
मिलता है
happy.
स्वर्ग का,
So now the
तो
gates to
आप
heaven have opened for you.
इस स्वर्ग का लाभ उठाइए।
So now you should derive
भगवान
advantage
कहते हैं
of that.
कि युद्धमीदृशम सुखिद क्षत्रिय पार्थ, तो अगर आप अपनी कला कौशल अब नहीं दिखाएंगे तो फिर कब
So if you do not display your skill of warfare
आपने
now,
इतनी
then when will you
तपस्या की,
do
इतनी
that?
मेहनत की
All
और
the
इतनी योग्यता उपलब्ध की,
austerity that you
ये सब
performed
अगर
and
नष्ट
so
हो
much
जाएंगे
skill you obtained,
तो इसलिए
all of
अभी
that
तो
will
युद्ध
go
से
in
दूर
vain
रहते हैं,
if you do not
शांत
fight
बने
now.
रहिए
So
और
please get
युद्ध
up
कीजिए
and fight
और
in the war
अपना ये जो मोह है
and
इसको छोड़ दीजिए।
give up the moha.
तो यहाँ तक भगवान ने
So till here,
दो प्रकार से उसको समझाया,
Bhagavan
उनको
explained
ज्ञान दिया
to Arjun in two ways. First of all, he
कि
gave him knowledge
विवेक
about the
क्या है,
discrimination between Atma
ये
and
शरीर से
body,
भिन्न है,
that you are
आज
not the
के जो
body, you are
वैज्ञानिक
different
हैं
from the body.
उन्होंने
And
समझाया
then he
धर्म की
explained to
दृष्टि से।
Arjun from
तो
the
एक
dharma point
आध्यात्मिक
of
स्तर
view.
पर शिक्षा दी
So the
और
first
एक
one
व्यावहारिक,
was at Adhyatmic
तो
level,
व्यावहारिक
the
दोनों प्रकार से उसने
Paramarthik
बताया।
spiritual level, and the second one is at Vyavaharik behavioral level,
और युद्ध का मतलब हमेशा युद्ध ही नहीं है,
at empirical
इसका जो
level.
भी कर्तव्य है उसको
And
करना।
here, war does not mean only
हमारा जो
war,
कर्तव्य है
it
उसको करना,
indicates that
वही
every
हमारी युद्ध है।
person should perform his
और अगर
prescribed
युद्ध जैसी
duty.
भीषण स्थिति में भी
For
अगर
every person, his duty is
में
like
युद्ध
a
की
war.
स्थिति में समता की स्थिति में रह सकता है तो हर एक आदमी रह सकता है, इसका ये
So
मतलब
if
नहीं है
Arjun, being on the
कि युद्ध
battlefield and while fighting,
सत्य
can
है।
still remain equanimous
और
in mind, then every
उस समय
person
का
can do
युद्ध
that,
आजकल का युद्ध नहीं है,
because this was a
उस
very
समय लोग
terrible
आमने
war,
सामने होकर लड़ते थे।
not
तो
a
ऐसी
war
स्थिति
like
में
what
भी अगर
happens
वो युद्ध
today.
की स्थिति में रहता है तो हमारे लिए तो आसान है,
So if
हमारे ऊपर
being
बहुत
in the
सारी
battlefield,
समस्याएं
Arjun can
हैं
maintain
जो हमारे
equanimity of
जीवन में
mind,
जुड़े हुए हैं,
why can't we do that? Why can't we
तो
do
इसी
that?
को
Because at least
भगवान
our life is not under threat.
यहाँ से अब थोड़ा दार्शनिक तरीके से बोलते हैं,
Now Bhagavan will start
प्रयोगी तरीके
speaking
से
in
बोलते
more
हैं कि
philosophical way.
जो ज्ञान
Till now
उसने
he had
दिया
been speaking
आत्मा को
more of
समझ
behavioral
करके,
practical approach.
तो
Now
उसको
the knowledge that
स्पष्ट रूप
earlier
से
Bhagavan had
जीवन
given,
में
the
उतारना है
discrimination between Atma and
कि
body,
कैसे
how
जीवन
we
को
should
जीना है,
apply that discrimination in our life,
इसके पीछे क्या दर्शन है, क्या
and
दक्षिणा
what is
मिलती
the
है,
philosophy
उसको हम
behind that,
जानते हैं। तो ये श्लोक,
what should be the understanding behind that.
जो
That is
श्लोक
what
है ये
Bhagavan
बहुत
is
ही महत्वपूर्ण
explaining
श्लोक
now.
है
This verse number
और
38,
बड़ा
it
ही
is
प्रयोगी श्लोक
extremely
है,
important
मार्मिक श्लोक है,
and
इसको समझना आवश्यक है।
useful in our life. We
इसको
should
अगर हम
understand
समझ
this
लेंगे तो हम हर
properly.
एक परिस्थिति में शांत
If we
होकर रह
can
सकते हैं,
understand this, then we can remain
क्योंकि
peaceful
हर
in
कोई ये
every
चाहता है,
situation, because
हर
every
सबके
person
जीवन
wants
में
peace of mind. In
विभिन्न प्रकार की
everyone's
समस्याएं आती हैं,
life, there are
तो उन
different
समस्याओं में
problems,
आप कैसे खड़े रहें
and how you
इसके लिए
can
भगवान यहाँ पर
remain firm,
फॉर्मूला बताते हैं।
maintain your
जिसको
peace of
हिंदी
mind
में
in
ऐसे
that
भी कहूँगा,
situation.
लाभालाभो जया जयो ततो युद्धाय जस्व नैवं पापम अवाप्स्यसि। सुख और दुख, लाभ
Translation:
और
considering
जय और
pleasure and
पराजय को
pain
समान समझ
gain and loss, victory and defeat alike, engage in battle. Thus, you will not incur sin. So, Arjun was having this problem of sin. He was thinking that if we fight in the war, then we will incur sin because we'll end up killing our Gurujanas, our superiors.
कितनी बार उन्होंने कहा
He told this many times.
इनको मारने से हम जो हमारा जो भोग है वो
If we kill Bhishma and Drona, then the kingdom that we will obtain, it will be stained with their blood.
सोचना गलत है।
So Bhagavan is telling that your thinking is wrong.
महत्वपूर्ण श्लोक है
So this is an extremely important verse
आप समता
which
में
says that you should remain equanimous.
पहले तो पिछले श्लोक में तो
You should maintain
भगवान ने
peace
कहा
of
कि
mind.
हाथ में लड्डू है
So earlier Bhagavan had told
अर्जुन सोच रहा है कि
that
दोनों
you will have
हाथ में लड्डू
advantage
मेरा
from
तो
both the
लड्डू
sides.
फैला है
You have laddu in both hands, meaning whether you win or lose, in both cases you have benefit. But Arjun is telling that the laddu I have in both hands, it is poisonous.
देखो अगर हम
Means I will have to suffer in both cases, whether I win or
तो
lose.
भी हमको
Arjun's logic is that if I win, I will incur sin of having killed my gurus. And if I lose, then also I will incur sin. You are telling I will have advantage from both sides, but I see suffering from both sides
भोग कर रहे हैं
in both
भोग
cases.
करने से तो बंधन ही होगा
Because if I enjoy
और
this
फिर
kingdom,
स्वर्ग में जाएंगे
then I will continue my bondage
भोग से
because bhoga brings bondage, because I will remain attached to bhog,
लाभ क्या है
whether I'm here or in heaven.
फार्मूला बता
So what is the benefit?
कि आप किसी भी स्थिति में रहकर कैसे
So that's why Bhagavan is giving the formula that even if you are living on the earth, you are ruling in this kingdom,
कीचड़ में रहती है
how can you not, how can you remain unaffected by that?
आगे कहेंगे पद्म पद्म पत्र में वाम बसा जैसे
Bhagavan will tell
कमल का
in the
जो पत्ता
upcoming
है, आराम से
verses,
रहता है,
like a
लेकिन गीला
lotus,
नहीं होता वो।
the leaf of
तो
lotus,
यही बता रहे
which
हैं
never
कि
actually
इस
becomes wet,
भौतिक जगत में व्यवहारिक
even
जगत
though
में
it is
कर्म
in
करते रहने
the
से
water.
किस प्रकार आप कर्म के बंधन में नहीं पड़ेंगे तो
So
उसका मूल
Bhagavan
सिद्धांत
is telling that how to remain free
यहाँ
from the karma
कह रहे
bandhan,
हैं
from the
कि
cycle of karma,
सुख दुखे समय कृत
even while living here.
लाभालाभ हो जया जय हो तो होता क्या है
So what
कि
happens is
सबसे
that
मूल कारण क्या है कि हम
the
सोचते हैं कि
fundamental
हम दुख नहीं चाहते
problem that we have is, the fundamental desire that we have
इस
is
सुख
we
को
want only happiness.
कि हम जो
We
भी
want
काम करते
pleasure
हैं
and
उसमें
we want to avoid
सुखाय
suffering.
कर्माणि करोति लोके
Any activity that we perform it for sukha, for pleasure, and we perform it to get rid
सुख
of
के लिए
pain, get rid
हम
of dukkha.
काम करते हैं ताकि उससे हमें लाभ
We
हो
work for
हम
sukha,
किसी
we work for
ऐसे करते हैं
benefit,
कोई बिजनेस कर रहे हैं उसमें लाभ होगा
for
तभी पैसा
profit.
मिलेगा
If somebody is doing a business, he is doing it for
अगर
profit.
अलाभ होगा
If he incurs
हार
loss,
जाएगा तो उससे दुख होगा
then he will be suffering.
इसी प्रकार जय और पराजय
Similarly, victory and
तो जय
defeat.
अगर होगी
If
तो
there
हमें
will be
लाभ होगा
victory,
सुख होगा
then we will have,
और अगर हार
then we
होगी
will be in
तो
profit, we will
हानि
be
होगी
benefit.
हमारा सब कुछ
And
चला
if
जाएगा
we lose,
इससे दुख होगा
if we get defeated, then we end
तो
up
यहाँ जो
losing
पाप का
whatever we
मूल
have.
कारण वो बता रहे हैं वो है
So
सुख
Bhagavan
से
is
दुख में
telling
आसक्ति
that the root
और
cause
दुख से
of
द्वेष
sin
ये जो
is
दो सिद्धांत
being
हैं
attached to
भक्ति
pleasure
में राग और
and
द्वेष
having hatred
जिन पर
for
हमारा
pain.
मन चलता है
That is raga dvesh,
जिनसे
on
हमको
which
सुख
our mind
मिलता है उनको
runs.
राग
So whatever
तो
gives us
सुखालु
sukha, gives
सुखदायक
us pleasure,
से
we have raga for that.
पतंजलि जी के सूत्र हैं
Patanjali's
कि सुख
sutra
का
is there
राग से संबंध है दुख का
that
द्वेष
sukha
से
is
संबंध है
connected
जिससे
with
हमें
raga
दुख
and
मिलता है
dukkha is
उससे द्वेष
connected with
जिससे
dvesh.
सुख मिलता है उससे
Whatever
राग
gives us sukha, pleasure, we have raga for that,
एक बात
attachment for that.
हम कोई
And
काम
whatever
करते
gives us
हैं
dukkha, pain,
नहीं करना
we
चाहते
have
हैं
dvesh,
ये दो
hatred for that.
सिद्धांतों से चलती है
So when we want
और
to
इसी
work
के
and for
कारण
what we don't want to
हमारा
work, it
इसी से
runs on this
चलता
only,
रहता है
raga and dvesh. Then there is duality and then there
लेकिन
is
पाप
corruption.
कब करता है आदमी पाप कब
Because
करता
when
है जब
does a
धर्म के
person
विरुद्ध काम करने
perform
लगता है
sin? Sin means
उसी
you act against dharma.
और अगर धर्म के
That
अनुसार
is
काम करते
papa.
हैं तो उससे पुण्य होता है
If you work according to dharma, then you
तो
get
धर्म के
punya,
विरुद्ध पाप
you get
कोई
pious
क्यों
result.
करता है
Why does a
क्योंकि वो सोचता
person
है कि ये
perform
काम
sin,
करने से मेरे को
act
सुख
against
मिलेगा
dharma?
मेरे को
Because he
लाभ
thinks
होगा
that if I do this,
मेरी
I will
वृद्धि होगी
make profit,
उसी के लिए करता
I
है
will get pleasure. we work. For that reason only the person performs sin. So as long as the person has attachment to pleasure, attachment to sukha, the person will keep performing sinful activity. People give donation thinking that by this donation I will get punya, I will get happiness. But for giving donation you need money, and then you do sinful activities to get money. First you do business, then do corruption, then come to Vrindavan and give donation. This is what many people do. This is what happens. People earn money in the wrong way and then engage that money in dharma, but they do not know that this money cannot be used for dharma. It is a rule of dharma shastra that whatever money you have earned by unlawful means, by that money you will never be able to make benefit according to dharma. One whose wealth is not clean, one whose wealth is black, not white. So if you engage in dharma with black money, then it is of no benefit because its root is in papa, is in sin. If you plant a tree whose, which gives poisonous fruit, then the planting of that tree itself was wrong. How can it will give poisonous fruit only because that is what is there in the seed. So when you earned money by unlawful means, then how can that money, even when engaged in dharma, give you benefit? So people have this great misconception that we earn money by unlawful means and then we give 10% donation. So there is no much benefit with that donation. So that's what Bhagavan is telling here. Bhagavan will speak a lot on this principle in the upcoming verses. So this is a big milestone in Bhagavad Gita, this verse. And he will continue this till the 18th verse. And we have to understand this with a lot of deliberation, contemplation. You have to go deep into the Gita, that actually whenever any activity is performed, the activity is neither pap nor punya. We think that if we give donation, then there is punya, and if we steal, then it is sinful, it is papa. If you do violence to somebody, it is papa, it is sinful. At some level, it is okay, it is true, and Shastra gives us, makes this type of statements because every person does not have deep thinking. So some direct formulas are given that do this, don't do that. But actually, any activity in itself is not good or bad. What is good or bad is the person, in the person. This is the fundamental principle. But this is very difficult to understand. That's why we say that this is good activity, that is bad activity. But what is good or bad is the bhav, the mental state of that person. If the bhava is bad, then that good activity will also become bad only. So somebody had asked this question that if there is a person and that person is committing suicide and the other person is watching the previous one committing suicide and he goes and stops that person and prevents him from committing suicide by explaining to him properly. So when you stopped that person from committing suicide, what you did was good only. That people will praise that person because suicide is also sin. Not only that, it is a crime also. So if somebody tries to commit suicide and fails in that attempt, and if that person is caught, then he can be punished under law. But now suppose this person who was prevented from committing suicide, let's say he goes later and kills another 10 people. Then saving that person from committing suicide was a good act or bad act?
अगर वो आदमी आत्महत्या कर लेता तो 10 लोगों की जान
If
बच
that
जाती।
person would have committed suicide, then 10 other
अब
people,
उस आदमी
their
ने
lives
निर्णय लिया
could have
उसकी
been
जगह
saved.
10 लोगों की हत्या कर
But
दी
this
उसके बाद,
person was saved from
क्योंकि
committing suicide and he went
फ्रस्ट्रेटेड था
and
कि
killed 10
कई
people.
लोग ऐसे करते हैं ना, गुस्से में आके गोली निकाली। इस अखबार में आते रहते हैं ना, स्कूल में गए और
So many people
उसने सबको
do this. We
25
hear
बच्चों
in
को मार
read
दिया।
in newspaper somebody took out gun, went to some school and killed
पर
many children.
तो ऐसे होता है ना मथुरा में। देखो आज ही हुआ है, बता रहे हैं वकील साहब।
बच्चे को फेंक के से पत्नी बच्चे बच्ची और अपनी माँ को मार दिया और खुद भी
अपने को भी मारा, पत्नी बच्चे सबको मार के खुद मार लिया। तो ऐसे आदमी करता है, तो आदमी आत्महत्या कर रहा था।
So these things, we hear these such type of news regularly. No person commits suicide out of happiness. Person does it out of frustration, depression only.
शाम को उसको कहीं और ज्यादा गुस्सा आया या पी ली उसने, जाके मार दिया। तब उसको बचाना ठीक
So
नहीं
let's say that person who was committing suicide was saved. In the evening, he became drunk
इसी philosophy
and he went and killed many people. So now it is very difficult to ascertain that saving that person from suicide was good or bad.
हत्या कर देता।
So this question was asked to some philosophers: if Hitler would have been killed before the Second World War, it would have been good or bad? Hitler killed millions of people in concentration camps. So before that, if somebody would have murdered him, it would have been good or no?
हत्या करता तो उस पर केस चलता नहीं चलता?
If somebody would have killed Hitler before this,
लोगों के
then that
भरोसे किसको
person
बचाइए तो पता नहीं था ना,
would have been
पता नहीं है
convicted
थोड़ा
under law or no?
गलत है कौन सा
So
ठीक
it
है। उसके पीछे भाव देखा जाएगा।
so it is very difficult to ascertain the activity is good or bad. The bhava behind that has to be checked.
यस्य नाहं कृति
In 18th chapter, Bhagavan will explain this.
स्वापि सैमान लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्य यस्य नाहं कृतो भावो बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते। वहाँ तक 18वें अध्याय तक भगवान इस बात को खींचेंगे, क्योंकि ये बहुत मुश्किल है।
So Bhagavan will carry on this point till the 18th chapter because it is very difficult to understand.
सम रहना मतलब जो
So maintaining equanimity in pleasure and pain.
बुद्धि नहीं है, ये सब नहीं है।
So earlier he told that
आत्मा की
when earlier he had told that we are Atma, we are not this body, we are not this mind. So here that is the application of that knowledge.
शरीर के सही संबंधित है,
Because this pleasure, pain, victory, defeat, these are all connected to the body. They have nothing to do with the Atma.
प्राप्त करता ना दुख प्राप्त करता ना
Atma neither derives pleasure nor pain,
आत्मा का तो कुछ है नहीं।
nor Atma is not victorious or defeated. And we are the Atma.
परमात्मा के अंश ममैव अंशो जीव लोके जीव भूत सनातन।
And we are Ansh of Paramatma.
इसको अगर हम समझ लें
So if we understand this,
हम समता की स्थिति में रह सकते हैं।
then we can remain
फिर ये जो
in a
भ्रष्टाचार
peaceful mind, equanimity.
ये इसलिए चलता है।
And then this corruption that happens, it is because of this only. Because every person wants profit and nobody wants to work.
कर्म नहीं करना चाहता है।
Nobody wants to perform his duty.
स्थिति में रह के ये नहीं है कि आपको अपना कर्तव्य करना
So when Bhagavan is telling that remain situated,
हम जो
become Atmastha, situated in Atma, then Bhagavan does not mean that you do not perform your duty. Because our existence is Atma plus this body.
उसको पहचान कर और
So Atma is anyway Sama only. So recognizing that and doing duty according to the Swabhava that we have in this body. So that is yoga. That is what Bhagavan will tell in the upcoming verses, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So he will talk many times about samatha, about balancing, maintaining peace, equanimity of mind.
इसको बार-बार कहेंगे कि मान
He will tell this again and again,
मित्र में आप तुल्य रहिए, सम
that in honor, dishonor,
समता की
with friend, with enemy, remain balanced, remain
तो
equipoised.
ये गीता का योग है।
So this is the yoga of Gita. In other places, there are other yogas that you sit and do meditation.
समय भी योग,
So Bhagavan is telling that you can do yoga even while fighting.
भगवान योग
Even in such a dangerous situation, Bhagavan is imparting the teaching of yoga. It means that what Bhagavan is teaching is applicable to everyone. It is useful. It is practical for everyone. Because if Bhagavan can teach yoga in a situation of war, at least everyone, others, they are not in such a situation of war under threat of life. So here Bhagavan is teaching how we can attain Paramartha even while living in this world. This is what Bhagavan is teaching in Gita. This is the importance of Gita. Gita and our life. This is the title of our series of classes, Bhagavad Gita and our life. Bhagavan is not telling that you give up everything and go to the forest, go to some ashram, take sannyas, etc. No, he will tell again and again that karma yoga is better than karma sannyas, because we have a shakti, we have the shakti, the energy to do activity, then we should utilize that energy. We cannot suppress that energy. Any guna, any shakti or energy, either you utilize it or you suppress it. So you cannot continue suppressing it, because it will definitely come up. We cannot destroy energy, we cannot create energy, we can simply use the energy. That is why Bhagavan will lay stress on this point. Although in the 6th chapter, he will talk about Dhyan Yoga, but then in the end, he will again come back to this point of equanimity of mind. In 18th chapter also, he will speak about this only. That we should remain engaged in our karma and then we can attain perfection. So Bhagavan is laying a lot of emphasis on this. So what Arjun was telling earlier, that we will incur sin by fighting in the war. So Bhagavan is telling here, no, maintain equanimity, because papa is actually due to ahankar, due to duality, due to raga dvesha. That is the cause of papa, of sin. But when you will rise beyond,
तो इसको कर रहा हूँ, जब आपको लाभ और हानि में आसक्ति,
when you will understand that I am simply performing my duty because it is my duty, I am not attached to any profit or loss. So now this does not mean that there will be no profit, no loss, because when you will do some activity, it will definitely give result also. Now that result may be according to your liking, or it may not be according to your liking, but you should not have attachment to that. When we have attachment to the result, then it gives rise to punya and papa, pious and sinful result. So if Bhagavan had told that if you die, you will go to Swarga, to heaven. But now earlier he had told that, but now he is talking about moksha. He is going beyond Swarga. Because Gita is moksha shastra. It is not just about punya and papa. Because even if you go to Swarga, to heaven, then when your pious results will be finished, then you will come down again. You will again have to take birth. So how to get rid of this bondage? This knowledge is being imparted in Bhagavad Gita. So that is why Bhagavan is telling to Arjun that get up and bring this equanimity in your mind, and this will give happiness in life. This is a mental state. For this, you don't have to do any pranayam. That is a different path. Doing pranayam, asan, etc. But this is different. Here, Bhagavan is telling how you have to make your mind peaceful. And that is why every person can do this. There are many people who cannot perform asan, etc. But each and every person can bring mind to this state, what Bhagavan is telling. That is why the person who remains balanced in profit, loss, victory, defeat, then that person will not have any pleasure or pain in life. Such a person will not perform sinful activity and he will not be whimsical.
ऐसा करना
So when Shastra says all the different types of activities like give donation, give water to people, give food to people, these are good activities, these are pious activities. Why they are prescribed? One reason is that when we perform such activities, then others get benefit, first of all. Then secondly, we remain in Sattva Gun.
उनका
We
उद्देश्य
are in a
अपना
good
आपको
state of
समता की
mind.
स्थिति में लाने में,
And thirdly, we
इसलिए
slowly
कहते
come
हैं
to the
कि
state where mind is in
समझाना आसान
equanimity.
काम
And
नहीं
that
है,
is the ultimate goal,
बहुत समय का
because bringing mind in such a
कठिन है,
state is not so
और
easy.
इसको
Understanding this
योगी
itself
पुरुष
is
कहना और भी कठिन
difficult,
है,
and applying
लेकिन
it is
इसको
even more
आगे
difficult,
बढ़ने का,
because our swabhava, our
ये
nature
स्थिति
is
विषमता
to
में
always remain disturbed.
विषमता पैदा करता
Because
है,
even if there is no cause for
जब
disturbance,
आपस में बहुत झगड़ा
we
हो रहा
we
था,
give rise to such disturbance of mind.
और झगड़ा किस बात को लेकर था
If there was a
कि
fight between husband and wife,
हमारा
and
चाहे वो
the cause of the
पति
fight
कहता था कि
was
इसको डॉक्टर बनाएंगे,
that
और पत्नी
the
कहती थी कि नहीं इसको इंजीनियर
husband
बनाएंगे,
was telling that we should make our son a doctor,
शाम को
and
बैठे
the
बैठे
wife was
डिनर
telling no, he
टेबल
should
इसी पे
become engineer.
की चर्चा
So during evening they
इसको क्यों
were
नहीं डॉक्टर बनाएंगे, उसने कहा नहीं,
sitting together during
ठीक है,
dinner,
फिर उसी के
and
चलते
again
फिर
this
जो
issue
है
started, and
लड़ाई
then
होने लगी,
there was a big fight.
तो इतनी लड़ाई हुई कि पड़ोसी आ गया,
There was so much
क्या
fight
हो गया, इतना क्यों
that
चिल्ला रहे हो,
neighbors
तो
came
अपने
there,
वाइफ को कहा कि भाई क्यों लड़ रहे हो आप,
and
कहते
they
नहीं
asked,
मैं
why are
अपने
you
बेटे को
fighting?
डॉक्टर बनाना
Then
चाहता
the
हूँ,
husband said
मेरा
that I
बेटा
want
मैं
to
इंजीनियर
make
बनाना
my son
चाहता
a
हूँ,
doctor, and the wife
तो
said,
झगड़ा
no, I
क्यों हो
want
रहा है,
to make him
भाई
engineer.
झगड़ क्यों रहे हो, लड़के से क्यों नहीं पूछ लेते वो क्या बनना चाहता है,
So the neighbor said, why are you, both of
उसका
you, fighting? Why don't
कहने
you
से
ask the
पूछिए,
boy what does
कहता
he
नहीं मैं
want to
अभी पैदा
become?
ही नहीं हूँ,
So they said that the son is not born only.
तो जब पैदा होगा उसकी बात कर रहे हैं,
We are discussing that when he will be born, then
तो
what should be his
ऐसी
career?
स्थिति
What should he
हमें ही
become?
उनकी रहती है, कहने
So
का
this
मतलब ये
is
है कि
what happens to
हम
our mind.
बगैर झगड़े के रह नहीं सकते हैं, ऐसी
We
आदत है,
can't live without fighting.
हमेशा
This
हमारा
is our
मन जो है
nature.
राग और द्वेष की
Our mind is
राजनीति
always
खेलता है, उसको
walking on
ढूंढने
the
के लिए
two
कारण
tracks of
ढूंढता है,
raga and dvesh. So we keep searching
तो
reasons for disturbance,
क्या
for fighting.
क्या कहावत है कि वो शक्कर खोरा शक्कर ढूंढ लेता है, कि जिसको जो चीज़ खाने की आदत होती है उसको कहीं ना कहीं से वो ढूंढ ही लेगा,
So it is said in Hindi that when if a person
तो
wants to
हमारी
eat
आदत
something,
है,
somehow or other, somewhere he will find it.
तो अगर समता की स्थिति
So it
पैदा
has
हो
become
और
our
बीच
nature
में
to remain disturbed.
चैन से बैठे हुए हैं, सब कुछ है, तो भी कुछ ना कुछ आदमी करेगा ऐसे कि
So we see that even if
झगड़ा
people are
करेगा,
sitting peacefully with a
ऐसा
friendly
नहीं होना
nature
चाहिए,
together, suddenly some
इसलिए
reason will
कहते हैं
come up and they will
कि
start
अपने
fighting. So it is
अब
seen
रिटायर हो
that
गया,
husband wife,
उसको पेंशन
the
भी मिल
husband
रही
has
है, सब
retired,
कुछ है, पैसा भी है,
he is getting
लेकिन
pension, he has
हमेशा
money, everything, but still
कुछ
that
ना कुछ
person is
कहीं
not
से न कहीं
peaceful.
से कुछ क्रिएट करता है,
Somehow,
तो ये
some
हमारी
reason
माइंड
comes
की
up,
ऐसी स्थिति है,
and then fighting starts.
माइंड इज नेवर हैप्पी अनलेस इट क्रिएट्स ट्रबल, तो उससे हमको निकलना है, उससे हमको बचना है,
So we have to get rid of
तो उसी के
this.
लिए भगवान
We
यहाँ पे
have
दिए
to
हैं
come out of
समता का,
this disturbed state of mind.
हमको शिक्षा
That's
देते
why
हैं
Bhagavan is
कि इसको कैसे,
teaching
और
this
इसके
equanimity
लिए
of mind,
भी सीढ़ी
how it
है,
can be done
महत्वपूर्ण
practically.
जो उन्होंने बताया और आगे
And
भी
for
हम
this,
बताते रहेंगे, वो
the
है कि
first step,
स्वभाव के अनुसार काम
what Bhagavan
करें,
told
क्योंकि जब हम
is
अपने
that the
स्वभाव के
first thing
अनुसार
that
काम
we should do
करेंगे
in life is to work
तो हमारा
according to
मन
our
शांत
swabhava,
रहेगा,
our nature.
हमारा मन
Because if we do
संतुष्ट
that,
रहेगा,
our mind will be
और जब मन
peaceful, it will
संतुष्ट
be
रहेगा तो सब
satisfied.
व्यवस्था
When
बढ़िया
mind
रहेगी,
is satisfied, it
और
will
विषमता में
be
क्या होता है,
peaceful.
ठीक पहला कारण यही है कि जब आप अपने स्वभाव के अनुसार काम
And
नहीं
the
करते हैं
first
तो
reason
विषमता में
for
रहेंगे,
this
तो जब विषमता
disturbance
में
is that
रहेंगे
we are not working according to swabhava.
तो इसलिए
Then it is
शिक्षा
then if we are not working
से शिक्षा
according to our
चाहिए,
swabhava and still we want to remain peaceful, it is very difficult.
ये पूरा
And
वर्णाश्रम
now this will
धर्म के बारे
continue
में
till fifth chapter
स्वभाव के
in
बारे में,
Gita.
स्वभाव
It's
जो है
all about varnashram dharma, swabhava.
सदृशम चेष्टे स्वस्य प्रकृतिर ज्ञानवान अपि, अनेक प्रकार की बात भगवान
Bhagavan will tell many things
और आज हमारे
on
समाज
this
में एक
topic.
बहुत बड़ी समस्या है
And there's a big problem in today's
कि स्वभाव
society
के बारे में
that
ज्ञान नहीं है,
people
बल्कि
have
क्या
no
होता है कि
knowledge
लोग
about their
सोचते समय कुछ
swabhava.
काम करते हैं तो उसको
Rather,
कहते हैं तो
people do
ये
all
शरीर
kinds
का
of
स्वभाव है, मन का
things,
स्वभाव है, इस तरह का,
and then they say this is the swabhava of
तो
body,
उस
of
स्वभाव
mind.
को समझना है और उसके
So we have to understand the swabhava, understand the nature, and we have to function according to that. And that functioning should also be approved by Shastra. Because just because something is according to my swabhava does not mean that is right. Because somebody's swabhava may be to be angry. That does not mean that person should keep expressing anger and he will be happy. No. Then Shastra is also important. Because many people say like this nowadays that it is my swabhava. So if I'm acting like this, what is the problem? No. When we say functioning according to swabhava, that functioning has to be approved by Shastra. That's why there was Varnashram Dharma system in Shastra. Because nowadays it has become a common statement. People say this is his nature or this is my nature. So we'll stop here. And if you have any question, you can ask.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी, बहुत अच्छा विषय चर्चा हुआ। तो इसमें मैं ये जानना चाहता था कि
So question,
उपदेशामृत का जो उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात्,
when Sri Rupa Goswami is telling in Upadeshamrit about Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Tat Karma, Pravartana,
जैसे मोटिवेशनल का भी आप बोल रहे थे भगवान,
and what Bhagavan is telling in Bhagavad Gita, he is motivating Arjuna as you were telling.
तो यहाँ पर अप्लाई होगा, ये वही उपदेशामृत का श्लोक यहाँ पे अप्लाई हो रहा है?
Is that instruction of Upadeshamrit matching here? So answer, definitely it is matching. When you perform, when your duty is according to your swabhava, will you not have enthusiasm for that?
धर्म के बारे में ये सारा संशय तो इसलिए हुआ ना कि जो अधर्म है उसको अर्जुन धर्म समझ रहा है, तो इसलिए उसको
So then there will be determination also, and determination will happen when doubt will be resolved.
जीवन का क्या उद्देश्य है, तो फिर धैर्य से काम करेंगे.
And then when you will understand what is the goal of my life, then definitely you will work with patience also.
प्रश्न है बाबा जी, संभाव में हमेशा
Question,
कैसे स्थित रहा जाए? कई बार कोशिश
how can I always remain in samabhava with equanimity of mind? Many times I have tried in good and bad times in thinking, how can I maintain equanimity? Because many times I lose control of mind. So answer, that's what I say, that it needs repeated practice, because our mind has become habituated to remaining disturbed. Like somebody becomes habituated to smoking, that person cannot live without smoking. Even if it is written on the packet that it is injurious to health, the person reads that, till the person smokes. Why? Because it has become his habit. Habit means he has made it his swabhava. Here swabhava means he has made it a wrong habit. With the swabhava, what we are talking of here, it is not our nitya eternal swabhava. This swabhava we are talking of is related to our body, and it has been acquired from outside the external environment. So everybody is accustomed in this world to remain disturbed. So to come out of that, it needs a lot of practice. It's not just it cannot be achieved in a day or two. It takes years and years of practice. But if we understand it is the right thing to do and it will make us happy, why not keep practicing that? Otherwise we will always remain miserable.
राम राम जी, कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछें.
राधे राधे महाराज जी. महाराज जी, मेरा सवाल है ये, जैसे मान लीजिए कि किसी व्यक्ति का स्वभाव तामसिक है और वो राजनीतिक में आना चाह रहा है,
क्या आना चाह रहा है,
किस तरह आए? क्योंकि अगर वो तामसिक है तो वो, जैसे महाराज जी किसी व्यक्ति का स्वभाव तामसिक है और वो राजसिक चाह रहा है कि हो, तो वो
So question, if a person is of tamasic nature and he wants to come to rajasic,
काम करना पड़ेगा कैसे आएगी कि वो अपने आप को उतना
राजनीति
तामसिक स्वभाव
तामसिक स्वभाव से राजसिक में आना चाहता है।
So question, if a person, what should a person do?
जी, जैसे महाराज जी, कोई व्यक्ति तामसिक है और वो राजसिक में आना चाह रहा है, तो वो राजसिक में कैसे आए, क्योंकि वो तो पहले से ही तामसिक है। तो
पहले तो
मतलब जैसे मान लीजिए तामसिक है, आलसी है,
तो आलसी है तो उसको
जी,
आलस
तामसिक है, आलसी है, मतलब
तो पहले तो उसको अपना भोजन बदलना पड़ेगा।
So the question was, how can a person come from tamasic to rajasic nature? So answer, first of all, he has to change his diet, the food that he eats. So if you want to come from tamasic to rajasic, then you have to consume rajasic diet with a lot of spices, pepper, and do some exercises. And for that, that person will not do it on his own, so he has to take help from somebody, from a person who is actually not tamasic. Like nowadays people employ life coaches, so he should take help from somebody else who can wake him up, take him for a stroll in the park, or for running, or for exercising. So the person has to take help from the other person, because tamas will not go away on its own. That's what tamas means. But most important is to change the food. Should give up tamasic food and consume sattvic or rajasic food, but not tamasic.
धनंजय जी पूछते हैं आजकल के समय
Next
में
question, how can we determine our swabhava and our nature in today's world? So answer, so swabhava is something you should try to understand on your own. You can take help from a learned person. And secondly, you should try to understand, analyze what is it that you like. We also have designed a survey on our, a questionnaire on our Vedic psychology website. We have a questionnaire, you can fill that and it will give you idea about your swabhava. You can get some benefit from that.
इसी से संबंधित है कि
I have another related question that
स्वभाव तो 3 गुणों से बना हुआ है।
Swabhava, is it made of 3 gunas? Answer, yes. Swabhava is made of these 3 gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas.
फिर तो इसका ये पता नहीं चलेगा ना कि वास्तव में ये इसका रियल, जैसे आप वास्तविक
स्वभाव से आपका क्या मतलब है? एक आत्मा है और एक शरीर।
So the question is, how can we understand the real swabhava?
आत्मा तो 3 गुण से परे है, उसकी चिंता मत कीजिए।
So and what do you mean by atma swabhava? Atma is anyway beyond the 3 gunas. Nothing happens to the atma. Why are you worried about the atma? It's swabhava. So next question, person should perform his duty and not doing duty brings loss. And when in a doubtful situation, the person cannot perform his duty properly. So how can I get rid of the doubt? So answer, you have to tell me what is the doubt. Otherwise, how can I solve your doubt? Because doubt can be of various types. You have to express your doubt, then only the doubt can be resolved. So question, sometimes I feel that the job, the work that I have, it is not according to my swabhava.
अपना स्वभाव पता लगाइए और नहीं है तो फिर ठीक है, आपका निर्णय हो जाएगा कि मैं अपने स्वभाव।
So answer, you find out your swabhava, find out if it is actually not your work is not according to that. First find out your swabhava, then only you can decide whether your work is according to your swabhava or no. Next question, sometimes I understand that what I am doing, I am doing it out of attachment for happiness and hatred for pain. and I have attachment for raga and dvesha. Although I understand that, but then I don't understand what I should do to get rid of that raga and dvesha. So answer, that is why we are talking of Shastra, Guru. That is why in our dharma there is talk of Shastra and Guru. Because if we simply act in this world according to our mind, then mind will keep inspiring us to perform wrong activities. This is what is shown in the first chapter of Gita. Arjun was giving so many logic arguments how he will incur a sin and then he will incur the dosha of killing his superiors, gurujanas. So what our mind does is that mind takes justifications from the intelligence to defend the wrong activities, whatever it has attachment for. That is why the Shastra teaches us go to Guru, learn from Guru, and act according to the instruction of Guru. Although initially you may not like those instructions, but you have Shraddha that what Guru is telling is for our benefit. Because mind will keep cheating us, because every person has attachments and the person does not want to give up his attachments. If you ask the people who are smoking, then they will say that I smoke because it relieves my tension, then I can think properly. So they also have their justifications. So every person, whatever wrong activity he does, he has tarka for that. His buddhi gives justifications to the mind for just to defend those wrong activities. So that's why we should take help from learned people, from Guru. Next question. Can a Kshatriya change his innate nature to that of a Brahmin or Vaishya or Shudra by changing his food habits, Food habits do influence, but it does not happen so quickly that 2-3 days you change your food and your nature will change. Changing Swabhava is extremely difficult. In Gita also, Bhagavan will tell this. That is why Bhagavan is telling again and again that please function according to your Swabhava, according to your nature. Swabhava does not change so easily, so quickly. That's why Bhagavan is not telling about changing Swabhava. Bhagavan is teaching not to change the Swabhava. He is teaching to act according to Swabhava.
सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्ममः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय
नमः पंकजनाभाय
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमस्ते पंकजंघ्रये
नमस्ते पंकजंघ्रये
भवे भवे यथा भक्ति
भवे भवे यथा भक्ति
पादयोस्तव जायते
पादयोस्तव जायते
तथा कुरुष्व देवेश
तथा कुरुष्व देवेश
नाथस्त्वं नो यथा प्रभो
नाथस्त्वं नो यथा प्रभो
नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य
नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य
सर्वपापप्रणाशनं
सर्वपापप्रणाशनं
प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं
प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं
नमामि हरिं परम्
नमामि हरिं परम्।
हरि ओम तत्सत्।